BBC Radio Sheffield. It's me, Cat Cow. Now, here's a question. How does the word Brexit go down in your household? We know it's a subject that's caused debate and division since before the vote back in 2016. And it's still in the headlines today. Remainers from South Yorkshire and North Derbyshire are travelling down to London for a Rejoin the EU rally in the capital. Madeleina Kay is one of them. She's from Sheffield and is a self-proclaimed EU supergirl. She is in London this morning for the march. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Madeleina. EU supergirl. Are you wearing a cape this morning?
No, I'm not, but I have got an exciting outfit planned.
Oh, talk me through it.
Well, blue and gold stars, obviously, but I think the really striking part is the boots. They're knee-high, and they've got blue boots with stars on.
Amazing. I remember seeing you during the run up to the debate and post the vote, and remember you being a sort of really sort of key part on social media. And some people might be thinking, what you know, she's still going at this. Has there been any moment where you've sort of faltered and you've gone, like, it's time to sort of just put that cape away, maybe just consign it to my dressing up box for the next fancy dress party and just sort of forget about it, accept it's happened and move on?
Well, firstly, I've got 2 boxes of costumes I've worn over the years. But I have changed the things that I wear. The Supergirl was maybe for a younger version of me. But no, I mean, it's been an opportunity for me to work with more organisations across the EU. And like I'm currently working on a project in collaboration with youth organisations across Europe to mobilise voters for the EU elections. Obviously, the irony that I can't vote in them is not lost on me. But, you know, I found opportunities to move forwards through my artwork and also through my campaigning.
Has anything about your perspective changed in the years between now and the vote, in terms of perhaps your understanding of why people voted for Brexit in the first place? Has anything shifted at all?
I mean, I always made an effort to talk to Leave voters. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't want to argue with people. I don't think it achieves anything, really. So I've always made an effort to talk to them because I genuinely want to understand their perspective, why they voted in the way that they did, because it didn't really make sense to me. And I feel like maybe that's made me a bit more compassionate and tried to get to the root of the problems which led people to foster the beliefs that they have.
And has it made more sense in those conversations? Have you been able to understand that perspective a bit more?
Yes, I think so. But I feel like leaving the EU has made situations in the UK worse for people. I think the problems that people were suffering from are getting worse. And I don't think that leaving the EU or having the Tories in government were the answers to the problems that people have historically been struggling with and are now struggling with even more.
This Rejoin rally, some people might be thinking, what's the point of it? Because certainly the Conservative government isn't going to reverse Brexit. Labour have said that they've got no intention to do that either. What are you and the other people who will be marching alongside you hoping to achieve from today's event?
So it's about bolstering the community. And I mean, the role of an activist is not to come up with a compromise position. The role of the activist is to get their agenda on the table. So if we move any closer to Europe, if Labour pivot to wanting to rejoin the single market because they think that's going to benefit the economy, you know, any steps closer to Europe, in my eyes, is beneficial. So obviously, my dream is that we rejoin the EU, but I am the first to admit that this is a long campaign. It's going to take a long time to get there, and it's also about celebrating the value of the EU and trying to change public perception of it from all the negative narratives that we've been receiving about the EU over the years, to actually saying there are so many positive things and so many benefits to EU membership, and you should really celebrate them.
Talking about the role of an activist, it's something that often I think, why would anyone want to do that? You know, all consuming. You sort of devoted your life to this currently kind of, it feels like, and a lot of people would be thinking, an unwinnable cause at this stage. And on BBC Radio Sheffield, I've spoken to lots of activists, spoken to for example the tree campaigners, and they eventually actually won, but the toll that fight took on their lives was absolutely huge. Has it had a negative impact on your life? Do you sort of ever think, oh, actually, I wish I hadn't sort of nailed my colours to this particular mast, and maybe I could have just a sort of more regular life? Have you ever sort of thought twice about it?
Yeah, I mean, I dropped out of university to full-time campaign, so I did make a big sacrifice in order to do it, but I've had so many opportunities through campaigning. I won the Young European of the Year awards, I won the Charlemagne Youth Prize, I've won various other awards, I've got this work that I currently do now, and I've actually just been accepted onto an MA course for fine art based on the artwork portfolio that I've produced since 2016. So for me, there's been a lot of benefits, and yes, I have had to adapt my life to it, but it's been really enriching for the opportunities to travel and meet people and learn and all these things. And there were a few consequences, like the trolling I received online was awful. It was really bad, and that did have an impact on my mental health. But overall, I'd say it's been a positive force for change for me, but also, setting my direction in life, helping me to realise what is meaningful to me and giving me purpose.
Tell me then about this exhibition that you've got in Sheffield, the artwork.
Yeah, so the exhibition that's at the Circle Gallery on Rockingham Lane is currently up, and it'll be up till the 4th of October. These are portraits of Brexiles. So I found and interviewed and painted portraits of 27 British citizens who'd left the UK. So the idea of this project was to document the Brexit brain drain phenomenon. On Friday coming, Sheffield for Europe are supporting the Open Night event. So we're going to have a conversation with a theatre producer from Sheffield called Laura Kresteva. Shafak Mohammed, people will know, a local councillor, is also speaking. And it's going to be a conversation about nationalism, identity, migration, belonging, and how Brexit has affected people on a personal level and led to these decisions for people to leave the country, and conversely also the EU citizens or people from outside of the EU have migrated to the UK, and how Brexit's affected their feelings and their identity.
It's really good to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Madeleina Kay, aka the EU Supergirl. And you can see her exhibition, as she mentioned, at the Circle Gallery on Rockingham Lane in Sheffield until Wednesday, the 4th of October. And I'd love to hear from you. When was the last time? Is it just completely off the table now? You just don't even think about it, don't even talk about it? Or is it still a current topic of conversation? When was the last time you talked Brexit in your household, and how did the conversation go? 81333 if you're texting. Start it with the word Sheffield. 08000 321 333 on the WhatsApp. Again, start it with the word Sheffield.